There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. No, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino Is the Name. Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You watching Casino Is the Name, man. And accountants, future accountants, it's our time. In case you don't know, I'm an accountant. And there's been some things planned out publicly with the Joe Budden Podcast. And I just want to say that it's our time. Because, so Joe Budden had some co-hosts, Mal and Rory. And basically, they've, I guess, left the show. He publicly came out and I guess he fired them or something from the podcast, said they were in breach of contract or whatever. And they made their own video where they addressed all of the issues with, I guess, with their business with Joe Budden. All right, so in this video, all they talked about, at least in the first half of the video, I haven't watched the whole video, it's like an hour long, I haven't watched the whole thing, but at least in the whole first hour, they talked about accounting. Accounting this, they wanted to see the accounting, they wanted to, they had accounting firm representing them or doing the numbers, and all they wanted to see was the accounting, and they stressed accounting and accountants and things like that, the whole video. And for my career field, for my for what we do as accountants, we had been needing, because people mention accountants in songs. They would call my accountant, like rappers talk about their accountants all the time. We hear stories of NBA players, NFL players having bad accountants and like ended up losing all of their money. We see artists go to prison, or like actors and things like that go to prison because they had some shady accountants who weren't filing their taxes and things like that. And so we hear these things, right? But we don't see it play out really in a conversation the way this does. The way this did it is beautiful to me, because I think it just puts the spotlight more on the importance of accountants, on the importance of accounting and watching your business. Even the fact that, because another part of this is like these guys were all friends, right? And so for money to come into play, because there's a lot of money at stake, and the only way to know if you're getting what you're supposed to get is through your accounting. And so them just trying to request information about their accounting, according to Mal and Rory, was an issue. And when you have friends and you're in business with friends like this, like if you're in business with one of your friends, really if you're in business with anyone, but when you're in business with your friends, you may ask for your accounting. And the first sign that there's an issue, or they say that you're complaining too much or whatever, and you still haven't seen the accounting, to me, that's a red flag. That doesn't mean that there's necessarily an issue with the actual, like somebody stealing or anything, but the fact that they have an issue with you asking to see it, like they're taking a personal, stance, like you don't trust them or something like that, and they're appalled at the fact that they feel like you don't trust them or something like that, versus handling your business, okay? If you're in business, you need to handle your business. You're supposed to know what your numbers are. It's your business. Nobody can tell you how you need to handle your business, okay? It's your business. It's not, if you're an employee and your check isn't right, it's your business. That's your business. You're running you're managing your time. That's your business. Making sure your money is right is your business. Even if you don't own the company, your business is related to what your check is, your money, how you're earning money. Like, are you being paid what you're supposed to be paid? That is your business. People should not be able to tell you that you can't handle your business. They said they were equity partners in profit. So minus expenses, whatever the profit is, they get whatever percent that they agreed on. and that's what they're supposed to get. So when they're asked to see the books, they need to be able to see what the profit is in order to actually get what they're supposed to get. So they need to see these things. And according to them, that was the biggest issue. They couldn't, well, at the time, they couldn't get an accurate amount of accounting, or it wasn't easy. And also that there was an issue every time they asked about it. And I just wanted you guys to hear this. Let me see, let me play this, just a snippet of it.
I don't know how dumb you think I am, but accounting is not some shit you send in a 5-line item in the body of an email.
Right.
Just want to make that clear.
Right.
And when I asked for accounting, I didn't think asking for what's in your contract is such a fucking crazy thing to ask somebody, your friend or not. And on top of that, I sit behind the accounting expense.
Right.
I'm not going to say the company's name because it's not important.
Right.
But they're not a cheap company to hire.
Right.
They're expensive. And whether they do Joe's personal life, not my business, do not care at all. Nor am I trying to get into Joe's personal life or personal business outside of the podcast.
We just talking about the contract that
I sit behind that expense, and it's in my contract.
So what he's saying is he's sitting behind that expense because they're equity partners in this business, in this podcast, or whatever business it is. So with them being equity partners, whatever accounting expenses have to come out before they can receive their profit, right? So they're paying because they're equity partners in this business. So as this business pays for the accounting, then they have to take that out before they can even get to the profit. So he is a part of the accounting expense. So he's paying for an outside agency, an outside accounting firm to come in and give them an accurate account of accounting. And even then, they were having issues with getting that information. It's very interesting, but I believe it's going to put a spotlight on the importance of accounting. And this went on for, I guess, a couple years where they were having these kind of accounting issues, which is crazy. And they're not even saying, or at least from what I saw in this video, they weren't really even saying that he stole from them. I don't even know if they have proof of that, but I think they said that they're not saying that he stole from them. And that there was an issue with the accounting even, right? So the accounting messed up. You need to check your accountants as well if you have a business. Or even get another accounting firm, get two accounting firms to go over the numbers. Have another accountant watch another accountant, whatever you got to do. But there was an issue, I guess, with their accounting and, him saying, hey, there's an issue with the accounting, or I want to see the numbers, or the numbers don't look right, is not to accuse Joe, but Joe will take offense to it, or people will take offense to it if or certain people. But I think that there needs to be some better understanding of taking care of your business. And too long, they let this thing go without taking care of business. And a lot of people jump into a business and they worry about that stuff later. I always try to take care of that stuff up front, whether or not the business is successful or not. I try to make sure that my business is handled as far as where the money goes, who I have to split money with, this kind of thing. I try to take care of my business up front, so whatever is coming down the road, and even just having like an open dialogue with your people, because there's an issue with just being able to talk about the money. But everybody is saying, hey, I ain't even worried about the money. I ain't even worried about the money. We're going to be good, man. We brothers, right? But then when the money comes, they're sitting here and they're all in their feelings because their brother or somebody they trust has broken their trust, and there's like bad blood. But had there been no money involved, they'd all still just be friends right now. But now it's real bad. Hearing Mal talk about how passionate he is about the way he's looking, the way Joe's made him look publicly, and all that kind of stuff like that, and it's interesting. But I believe that this will put a much bigger spotlight, and as we see more and more of these things come out, more and more of these type of situations arise, I think that it's going to put an even bigger spotlight on the career field of accounting and the occupation. And I believe there's going to be a lot more opportunities coming, because they even mentioned a phrase of podcast accounting. I think that's dope because I've never even, so accounting has so many different like types of accounting. Like if you're a travel nurse, I believe that, like I know some travel nurses who stop working as travel nurses halfway through the year or 8-9 months in the year because if they continue working, their tax bill is going to be so high because they're going to be making over $100,000 that for some of them, it's not even worth it to continue working the rest of a full 12 months. So I know nurses, like travel nurses who work like 6 months out of the year and they sit for the next 6 months. Not because they don't want to work, but because it doesn't even make sense once they see that tax bill, they've made too much money and they get taxed, get a much bigger penalty. So it's almost like they're working for free or so they feel. So they don't end up working. But there are so many other ways that if they had an accountant or somebody who specialized in the travel nurse, because they're contractors, right? But if they were able to have an accountant who specialized in just travel nurses kind of thing, I think that is a business in itself. I believe that if you're an accountant, you specialize in travel nursing, you have plenty of opportunities to make a decent career out of just working with these type of medical professionals who are on contracts. I believe that if you're a travel nurse, you should find an accountant who can specialize in just that so they can maximize. So you don't have to stop working and you can make over $100,000 a year and not have to pay taxes on that amount of money. Reducing the taxes by either claiming expenses since you're a contractor and maybe put money in 401k plans and other types of things. But I don't think that you should have to stop working because you're taxed too heavily or whatever. So I think that is a niche in itself. So now in this video, these guys talk about podcast accounting. And I'm like, wow, that's a whole thing that if you start to understand as an accountant, start to understand like the laws and rules around like podcasting and the kind of money that's at stake, that's an entire niche in itself because podcast accounting isn't going to be exactly like travel nurse accounting, right? So all of these new industries are popping up. I'm sure there's opportunities for accountants in the future. Think about all of these PPP loans that are out here. They're going to have to figure out who all of these people are or at least a portion of them or something. There's going to be a lot of accounting things that need to be looked over. There's going to be a lot of new industries, say AI technology. If you have if you have a trucking company and when they talk about they're going to have driverless trucks, so that's going to be a different, probably there's going to be some differences in accounting for AI employees than it would be for traditional employees, or well, you won't even call them employees, but machines running for you. You're probably going to see some different expenses and some things that, maybe if somebody was niche in that market would understand better. But I just think that it's all fascinating and that I believe that this is our time. I believe that this video is going to open up enough interest in what we do as accountants and things like that for other people who wouldn't normally seek accounting to maybe start seeking accounting and start understanding how often they need to get a report, quarterly report, annual report, whatever it is, understanding the laws around what's supposed to happen. And for people to start getting out of their feelings, because a lot of businesses fail due to improper business practices or lack of showing accounting even. Like it doesn't even mean that the money is wrong or that things are wrong, but you can't even show accounting. And then again, the money could be wrong and it could be just because people don't know what they're supposed to even be getting. And so anyway, I think that you guys should go watch this and like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel, man. We'll keep it going. Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You're watching Casino is the Name, and if you wanted to know how I started my trucking business, I have an ebook called Big Shot, Hot Shot Volume 1, Own Your Trucking Authority. It's a great book, 5-star reviews. The link will be in the description below. Go get that. Yeah.
Beat me up, Scotty. Me up, Scotty.
Me and her together, we just count it up. Money on my mind, I can't get enough. Don't play with my money, you don't want no beef. Cause I come from the bottom, I come from the street. When she first saw me, she said, who is that? When a man saw me, he called me a threat. I'm the one that really live, wanna rap. They ain't never did it, they ain't really trap. You say you want to be successful, but what's stopping you? Can't nothing stop you from being successful except for you. You standing in your own way. I came from the bottom. I ain't know nothing but the grind. You can't tell me nothing about that. I caught the bus at Basin Street Projects in Tallahassee, Florida. You hear me? I used to think $1 million would last me my whole life. I'd have made that and spent that. $1 million ain't enough. There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? There's money everywhere. There's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino is the Name.